And I'm back. No, it's been a fraction of a second for you, but it's been about 3/4 of an hour for me. So the family was all good. Now it's the road again. So now we're going to Huntly. It's the next town, which is also today's destination. I'm doing a short ride today for two reasons. A, I haven't done a long distance ride with all my luggage for 5 years. So I want to take it easy first day. Just going to also mention I can hear the tar of the road crackling under my tyres. The road's melting. It's a good sign. You can smell the road as the tar seeps up. Anyway, reason one, of course, first day at bike again, but also I've invested in a new tent. Tents are not cheap if you want a good one that you want to carry on a bicycle or even on your backpack if you're walking or public transport travelling. So they're not cheap. But my old one, which was a very good tent, and I was very happy with it, one of the poles had cracked. This was in Australia, in the outback. It cracked, and then the crack ripped the tube, the fabric tube that the tent pole goes through. Made it a nightmare to put up. I repaired the hole eventually, and now I used insulation tape on the poles to just hold them, but they're getting worse and worse, and I think it's putting stress on the other pole. I only had 2 poles for the tent. The other pole seemed to be taking some stress, so I was worried that would start cracking too. I went to the manufacturer, Macpac, a New Zealand firm, funny enough. When I bought it I didn't realise that, as I was in England, and they were not forthcoming about replacement poles. Also the zips were getting on the dodgy side. One side of the tent, as it had 2 entrances, one side I did not use for fear that I wouldn't be able to close it again, and the other side you had to open a particular way, again in fear of the zips not closing again. So I thought, if I do get it repaired, you're looking at least 100 New Zealand dollars per pole, I'd say. And the 4 zips, 2 on the fly, 2 on the tent, I'm guessing they'd cost at least 100 New Zealand dollars each, as there were long zips that curved around, half moon shape. I imagine they would not be cheap to fit and to produce. So 2 poles, 4 zips, $600, I'd say, for a repair. I only paid the equivalent to $500 for the tent. So it's hard to repair something for more than it costs to buy a replacement, as you can imagine. So I looked into tents and discovered a shop in Hamilton which was having a sale on tents. This is last December. I went in after doing much internet research, doing my due diligence, you could say. And I ended up buying a tent with a large fly. Well, it had a large vestibule, which for me looks awesome. I can even fit my bicycle in the vestibule. But also in the evening, or even daytime, it's somewhere to sit out of the sun. And I have a little chair and table. So we'll see how that goes. And that's my reason too of the short ride. Mostly though, the short ride's because of my having not ridden for quite some time. Well, this is reasonably uninspiring visions, I'm afraid. Sorry for that. I can't control the landscape. So I might stop talking for a while. You can indulge in the scenery. And here's Taupiri. You can see the Waikato River flowing along. It's the longest river in New Zealand. It flows from a place called Taupo out to Port Waikato. I don't know the exact distance. But it flows from south to north. Water. I used to live in Egypt for 1.5 years as a tour guide. It is an epic country, Egypt. Highly recommend it. It's very unfortunate they have such bad governance. But oh my, the historical sites and some of the modern religious sites are beautiful. And the people are fantastic. Caring, kind-hearted people, in the most part. As a tour guide, I was, of course, not an Egyptologist. I was more on the overview of the country tour guide. So at places like the pyramids in Giza, as part of Cairo, the capital city, we had professional Egyptologist guides to tell the groups about the places. And one tour guide I had was a fantastic guy, but I felt he sometimes stretched the truth a bit. He once said the River Nile is the only river that flows from south to north. Of course, my instant thought was, I come from a town with a river that flows from south to north. So of course, away from the group, at a later time I said to him, in my hometown there's a river that flows from the south to the north. So the Nile's not the only one. And his reply was, he meant like major rivers, big rivers. So of course I replied, the Waikato River is the biggest river in New Zealand, the longest river in New Zealand. I think it rates as a major river. I doubt he would have changed his talk. It doesn't matter anyway. I just can't believe everything everybody says. That's a motorcyclist. Oh. But yes, if you have a chance in the future, consider Egypt. A stunning, stunning country. It gave me an appreciation for deserts. I used to do a 3-day hike in the Sinai through the desert, as well as I also worked in the country of Jordan which has Wadi Rum reserve area where we would do 4-day hikes. Absolutely amazing. I always think of deserts, I always thought of them as barren, boring, empty places. They aren't, they're absolutely amazing. Now, there's a cycle lane begins, this footpath, I guess. Try this, because this looks like a easier route than that junction. We've been attacked by these plants, and we're back on the road anyway. Well, that was Taupri. So I'll quieten down a bit again. Let you enjoy the scenery as we cycle by the north flowing Waikato River. Oh, there's a chicken. How weird. Stop for a second. And we've made it to Huntley. That's 35 kilometres. Now, Huntley is mainly known for its power station. You might have seen these stacks before as we arrived a few minutes ago. There was a coal-powered fire station, a coal-powered power station. And the reason there was a power station here was there was also a coal mine, an open cast coal mine, so cutting a big wound into the earth wasn't a pretty sight. I have no idea if these things are still active, but that's what I think of when I think of Huntley. I'm going to stop for a second to get my bearings because I saw a sign for a camping area and look at my map, so I'll be back in a minute. So Huntley's where I'm staying tonight. There's a campsite here, which hopefully I can stay at. That's what I stopped for, to check if I could figure out where that was, the campsite I mean. I have a kind of idea. The map isn't that accurate, or it doesn't have street names and such. But we'll find it. I'll at least have good fun getting lost trying to find it. So Huntley is a reasonably sized town, not huge by any stretch of the imagination, but considerably bigger than Ngaruawahia that I stopped at earlier. Of course, it has all the obligatory American junk food places, which I will not be visiting, ever. And naturally there's a red light. Oh, jeez. Huntley also has a speedway track, a dirt oval. Not very big ones. They are entertaining for an evening out. I especially like the motorcycles, naturally. But the demolition derbies are fun as well. I've had family members partake in those. Always adds to something, adds to the atmosphere for you. Going to motor racing when you know someone in the race. That way's to the city centre, but I can't go this way, I think. I have no idea. Well, I'm going this way. That sign was a bit late. Crikey, some nasty looking railway lines. Oh, yep. Rough. That's a good sign. A tent and a caravan. That was the way I thought I should go. Oh, there's the power station. There's no train right now, so let's go. I can see it down the distance. It's a fair distance away. Okay, camp's that way. This is nice, they have signs. This looks very campsite-esque. There's one of those swamp hens, or I don't know what they're called. Caravan park. Okay, so I think I've gone the wrong way. Do a U-turn. And the camp park is over to my right here. Yes. There's that train finally. So I'll end this segment for today. Hope you enjoyed it, as I much enjoyed riding it. And till next time, goodbye.